Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Naomi, and we're presenting our assignment for CS 208 Data Structures with Professor Shamsi Masavi. The assignment was to make a game that demonstrates hash tables and hash maps, and it's supposed to be just a game with a simple GUI that shows players entering and exiting various rooms. There's supposed to be a lose condition that makes players removed from the game and from the hash map that is supposed to contain the players.
We wrote an object called entity table that is just a hash map with methods to keep track of the game entities stored in the map. These could be either rooms, players, or treasures.
Game entity is the type we came up with since the game's players, rooms, and treasures had common functionality. We thought that putting all the game's assets in one hash map would most effectively demonstrate the concept of rehashing.
Treasures are placed in rooms for players to collect, which either increase their score or damages the player's health because some treasures are booby trapped.
Rooms are arranged around a main hallway in the game. These objects also hold a set of points that indicate the entrances and centers of the rooms. They also have a method for generating treasure objects at random points in the room. Player objects start out with a maximum health and a player number, such as player 1, player 2, etc.
One of the biggest challenges writing the game was keeping the players on the path so that they didn't go through a wall.
The most important function of the player class is the player's ability to collect loot. When it enters a room, it calls a method to choose a random treasure in the room, and that treasure will move towards the player. If the treasure is not booby trapped, it'll stay gold. If the treasure is booby trapped, it'll start to flash, and when it touches the player will take a certain amount of damage. If the player takes damage in a room, the player will immediately leave the room without collecting any more treasure.
The game's main class initializes the graphical user interface. The user then selects 1 to 4 players to enter the game, and the start button becomes available when at least one player is joined.
A timer starts that renders every frame of the game in between calling various methods in room, player, and treasure to move things by small intervals as necessary. As you can see here, players are going around in a clockwise formation. They choose a random number of rooms to visit. By skipping some rooms, players can get to other rooms before other players and collect more of the treasure, but also have a higher chance of encountering a booby trap in that case. When a player dies, they leave behind a small mess, and the players that survive get to exit through the same hallway that they entered through, and whichever player has the highest score wins. Thank you for checking out our project at MassBay STEM Expo. We'll see you next time.
Happy holidays.